Hey guys, I know I've disappeared from YouTube for about a year, ever since I uploaded that video saying I've moved to Germany, and I kind of just didn't say anything. Actually, this year in Germany hasn't been particularly smooth. It shocked me a little bit that it wasn't as easy as I expected, because I kind of took it for granted that after living abroad for so many years already, doing a new country, picking up a new language wouldn't be that hard, and making friends in a new environment wouldn't be that hard. But actually, I was wrong. It was really challenging. It turned out that I wasn't as successful as I thought I would be. I have been reflecting a lot on my experience, and I hope maybe some of my conclusions could be helpful for those who are also struggling living abroad as an expat. So let's go. I think when someone is not happy living abroad, I think the main reason is usually a sense of rejection, being rejected by the people or the environment there. Feeling rejected is mainly because they haven't developed a bond with the people. Without this meaningful, strong relationship with the new environment, it's very easy to feel like an outsider, not being accepted by the locals, and not being heard. When things get even more stressful, it's very easy to feel like, oh my god, you're abandoned and you are stranded. I know talking about the importance of language sounds like a waste of time, but actually I think it's important to understand why language matters so much. Not just because with a sophisticated, advanced listening comprehension and a rich word bank would allow you to express your opinions, to convey the subtle messages, especially like opinionated and emotional details. These things are so important in interpersonal relationships. It's not just that why language is important. I think the more important reason is being able to present yourself efficiently and convey your points efficiently is very crucial to self-confidence, to a strong self-esteem. During my time here with my broken German, I got stuck all the time trying to describe something. If I want to tell someone about my favorite show, if I want to jump into a conversation about a topic I know I can talk about, but then I don't know the words. And then I spend so much time looking away, trying to recall the words I've definitely seen in a dictionary or a textbook, while others are also anxiously waiting for that. It's pretty inefficient, it's bad. I can also sense the awkwardness from other people. This kind of communication, first of all, just wouldn't allow a bonding to happen. Second of all, I couldn't present myself confidently and authentically. I wasn't showing the best version of myself. I'm worse than a 6-year-old kid here in Germany. It's hurting my presentation of myself, and it's also misleading other people to think I am indifferent to whatever they're talking about. Actually, I'm not, which is really frustrating. I think that's more frustrating than the fact that I can't find the right words itself. Even if someone has the language skill necessary to carry deep and sophisticated conversations, it's not unheard of that expats living abroad for a year or two still haven't found friends or developed meaningful relationships. I think it has to also do with the people, because it's very easy to bond with someone who shares a similar profile, who has shared experience with you, than someone who has not. That's why you will always see expats stick to each other in a country. That's simply because they have a lot to talk about, because they've all gone through probably the same process of applying for the visa, looking for apartments as foreigner, dating locals, all these topics that are very unique to this group. And I'm not trying to say, first of all, I'm not trying to say that expats coming from the same country would necessarily become great friends. That's not true, because expats are very different among themselves. I am not saying you should now just find people who are similar to you and then bond with them, and then don't talk to people who are different from you. Actually, that would be really different. That would be really the exact opposite of what I was advocating for a few years ago. I was all for go out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself, and talk to someone who's from a different background. I was all like that. But I realized that it depends. You can't really build all your relationships based on, someone who's really different from you. And it's really tiring, exhaustive as well. It takes a lot of time and effort from one side to explore these common grounds. Even if you are, comparing differences, you are trying to find similarities. Otherwise, it's like, speaking two languages. How can you come to a point where you're like, I understand you, and it's enjoyable to have this conversation? So if you are going after people who are different from you, I would say go for it, but it can be really exhausting, and because it takes a lot of effort from one side, and it would be usually the side of the foreigner, the expat, who is the guest of the environment. And actually sometimes they are very curious locals who would strike up these conversations, and I think these people are the most wonderful people, who are they're the saviors for expats, because they are maybe they ask stupid questions, regarding your culture, but still they're curious. Most of the time they're really friendly. They want to know about you, and I think having conversations with them makes you feel like you're valued. And lastly, it would be finding people who share the same hobby as you do. And I think these would be the candidates for you to develop meaningful friendship with. What if you can't find these people in your environment? And I would say you would need to create this shared experience out of nothing. To do that, I would suggest proposing a project for people to help you with. Tell them, hey, you are taking photos or making videos or writing a program or whatever that takes that involves your hobby or your skill, and you need their help. After you have solved problems together, laugh together, maybe get mad at each other at some point, but and then make up again, it's a great experience that you both share, and that has been part of the memory for you both. It's not as natural as you would wish it to be. That brings out my next point, which is the element of yourself. I think the most important mental preparation you can do for yourself as an expat is a little bit of mental buffer for shocks. Knowing that there will be cultural differences, knowing that you will be shocked, should be a buffer for you already. So the impact, especially the kind of impact that's very upsetting or disappointing, would be a little less, would be buffered by this knowledge. I think as long as you're not forced to move to a new country, like refugees or people being persecuted, then you are going there voluntarily, and you should have the expectations of experiencing shocks, and also, first of all, being the outsider, experiencing these negative emotions or feelings, being the outsider, and then slowly adjusting to the culture, to the rules, to the society, and become an insider. And that's the path of every immigrant ultimately. Another thing to consider is how much effort you would like to give to bond with other people in this new environment. If you're the kind of person who's waiting for something to happen, waiting for other people to knock on your door and say, hey, I want to make friends with you. Would you like to make friends with me? And if you're waiting for something like that to happen, of course, it's not going to, because people after college especially have their own life, and they probably already have their friends, family, everything set up. So they won't really need a foreigner friend. So the effort kind of has to come from you as the foreigner, the guest, the newcomer. I forgot to mention the little thing called luck. Some people have really good luck right off the bat when they land. For example, they find really cool roommates who they instantly hit it off with. Sometimes they have terrible bosses or landlords who are looking for trouble, who are picking things. And these things can make or break your experience. If a lot of unlucky things add up, that will make you quite depressed. So I wish everyone has really good luck with their adventure abroad. But if things don't go well, and if they continue to go wrong, I don't know, maybe you need to find a different apartment which has better feng shui, because maybe something is haunted. Just kidding, but I think luck does play a little bit of role, and it's not your fault. It's also not the fault of the people around you, and simply because something is out of our control, knowing that, I think it would make you feel better if that is your case. I hope my ramble has somewhat helped people. If it has helped you, or if you have similar experience or your insights how to be happy as an expat, please let me know. Tschüss!